have to explain as well. Okay, and always check the marks as well, because based on the marks, then only you will know how many points or how deep you have to go for that particular answer. So we know that there are four basic principles. So roughly we can know that it is 3 marks each. So whatever explanation that you are writing, it must work for 3 marks. Okay. So first, let's say encapsulation. Yes, this is one of the basic principle. Inheritance, polymorphism, and also abstraction. Yes. And let's see the explanation. Encapsulation is the ability to combine data and also operation in single unit. Okay. In object-oriented design, encapsulation is achieved by putting related variable and method into a class. Yes, this is correct. Encapsulation mean is like the pill, capsule. You know, medicine there's a capsule type, right? Which is all the powdered or the it will be inside the capsule. So this is actually we call encapsulate. Okay, so like that also for the class. If you see class, we actually encapsulate data and also operation. Okay, that means this single unit is our class. So encapsulation is combination of data and also operation into one particular unit, which is we call as a class. That is we call as the encapsulation. This is correct. Okay. Next, inheritance, the ability to create new data type from existing data type. Yes, this is one of the explanation which is acceptable. Let's see, with that message. Slide freeze. Okay. Slide freeze. Okay. Now can see. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So here you see ability to create new data type. If I have a student, this is my superclass. And let's say I have an undergraduate, this is my subclass. That means we have the ability to create new data type from existing data type. This is considered one data type. From existing data type, we can create another data type, right? That means I can create object of student. That means this is considered one data type, student type. And I can create undergraduate, which is another data type. By extending the existing data type, we are extending it from here. With a new attribute or the method, that means here they can have existing method from this student, as well as it can have its own data and also operation. Okay, the new data type can also override the existing data type method. Yes, can. Okay, this explanation also can. Or if you think that not necessarily you have to memorize this particular sentence or something like that, you want to specify. Let's say you want to give example student, then I want to specify this is undergraduate, this is a postgraduate. So if we have a class which is a student, we can derive a new class using by extending this student class, which is this student class can have its own data and also attribute, which is based on your understanding also can. Not necessarily it must be exactly this particular sentence. If your explanations can show that you understand inheritance concept, yes, you can get 3 marks. Okay. Okay, next, polymorphism. If you see, the ability to use the same method to denote different implementation. Yes, this is what is the definition that we saw previously about polymorphism. right? That means one method can have different implementation in the same class hierarchy. That is another one that we have to include in, right? The ability to use same method to denote different implementation. An example of polymorphism is two or more method with the same name but different parameter list. Okay, maybe you can add in the same class hierarchy. Okay, or in a class um, you want to specify it is supposed to be class hierarchy. Okay, but if you want to have a full mark, that's better to have a hierarchy. Okay, hierarchy. Okay, so this is quite important because we cannot say that if they are actually not in the same hierarchy, we cannot say that is a polymorphism, right? We can't override. Okay, so this is another keyword that must have. Same method name, different implementation in the same class hierarchy. Okay, so polymorphism. Next, abstraction. Yes, the ability to hide the implementation from outside view. Okay, that means we don't want to expose the implementation, okay, to users. What the user have to know is they just have to know how to we do not need to know the implementation, rather they just know how to use that particular method or class. Okay, so we can also say it like this, which is allow you to define the structure and behavior of a class while hiding their implementation detail. We say that we can achieve abstraction through abstract class and also interface, correct? Abstraction we can achieve using abstract class and also interface. So allow you to define structure and behavior. In your abstract class, we just have the method header only. In the interface also, we have a method header only. That means we define the structure and behavior only, the structure. That means the method, okay, written double or something like that. While hiding the implementation detail, the implementation detail will be defined in the actual class. Okay. So that one also we can say abstraction. Okay. So these are the four basic principles. Okay, this one too. So anyone have any question about question number 1A? This is a straightforward question. Any question? Okay, no? Okay. We go to the second question. I think we done this question. I don't know which class, but one of the class I went through this question. Not sure this class or different. Exception handling is one of the mechanisms to handle the runtime error. Okay, that means we don't want it is successfully being compiled and the program is running. So we need to have exception handling so that when you are giving certain type of input, we don't want the program to stop execution. Okay, so we have to handle the exception. That's why we say that it is actually for runtime errors. Provide a suitable example to demonstrate how to handle an invalid input from the user. Okay, so you can give any example, okay, in order to show that how exception handling can be handled in a particular program. Okay, so exception handling, they have many different mechanisms. The one we learn is using try and also catch. Okay, so you want to use a try and catch, you want to specify the code? Yes, can. So in this example, if you see getting a scanner object, okay, and we want to get a number, okay, so when we we know that that particular portion of the code, it can trigger some type of error when input it is not as what we wanted. we put try block, and after catch, what we want to display or what we want to do, we put under the catch. Okay, so in this example, if it is not a double value, that's mean it is maybe a character. That's mean when it is double, when you put character, this line will cause you some error. So we put try. And until where we think that it will can cause you error. So after that, we try to put catch and what you want to perform. Maybe you want to display the error message to the user, or you want to display system generated message. Okay, you want to display, you call exception handling method, which is get message also can, in order to display what is the message, what is the error. Okay, like that also can. And this catch automatically will be executed. Whenever here got error, it will execute this catch statement. Okay, so any example will do. Okay, so this example, yes, can get 5 marks. Okay, so here if you see 5 marks, so any example. In the exam, actually, we are not too emphasized on the import statements and everything because we have a IDE. Okay, even people going for working as a software developer and everything, definitely they will be using IDE, internet or something like that. So we are not too emphasized on, because this one all actually can be auto-generated, or it can be in a single click, it can import and so on. So no need to worry about the import statements. Okay. There will be no marks will be allocated for the import statement unless the question specified. Okay. If you forgotten. Okay. Next. Briefly describe the step in the problem solving process for object-oriented design. This one is actually from chapter 1. Okay, in chapter 1, you can see the slides. We learn about what are the steps involved when we are solving problem using a structured approach as well as object-oriented approach. So first thing is we have to try to identify the object. Okay, so this is good because it's a give example. Okay, let's say you want to create about a cinema, so we try to identify what are the objects involved for the program, which is a cinema ticketing system or something like that. So these are the objects. Okay, so clearly can identify. Next, specify for each object the relevant data and possible operation. Yes, second step is one we already identify. Let's say I want to have a customer object. We try to identify the data. Customer can have an ID, customer can have a name, customer can have an address. Okay, then we have to come out with the operation also. We can get the name of the customer. Okay, so all this one are possible. So first, the second thing is identify the data and also operation. Third step is determine how the various objects interact with one another. Once I already created all customer, let's say they have here is having a movie. Okay, so we try to check what are the relationship between all these objects, because we know that object-oriented design is interaction between the object. So if we didn't create any relationship between one object to another, we can't know how they are actually interact and which method we have to invoke and everything. So create object, find the data and operation, create the relationship. So this is how it works. Okay. So you can check in the chapter 1 also. It is in the chapter 1. Okay. So far so good. So E is the method that declare from us, right? E is not a method. Actually, E is not method. You are giving a reference for your exception. This exception, I'm giving a reference to this one, E. In this one, any name you can give. So E, I can call method under this exception class. Exception class is actually predefined class in Java. So one of the method under this exception class is get message. Okay. So you want to put here EEX also can. Whatever name, this one is be assigned. Okay. Okay, next. Distinguish between structured programming and also object-oriented programming in terms of focus area. Actually, we can compare in many different area, but this one is more to, this one also, if you see in the chapter 1, we have the slide, which is comparison table, okay? We have many criteria which is we can compare, but one of the criteria that we can use in order to compare is focus area. What they are focusing more, okay? So structured programming, if you see, is focuses on processes, okay, logical structure and data required for the particular process. So if you see, there are more to the process because structured programming more to method. We will be writing methods. Remember last time we saw some example, calculate CGPA, okay? You can write methods. First, let's say I want to create one calculate CGPA. Let's say calculate total marks. I will create a method. Okay. After that, I will create some local variable because they will be actually using this data is actually we have to pass it as a parameter or argument. So when we created a calculate CGPA, I will specify how many parameter it will take. Let's say calculate CGPA mean I have to have a total, let's say total subject. Okay. So I have two parameter, let's say. So when I call this calculate CGPA, I will pass in my data that I get from the user. Let's say I get input from the user and I pass in as a argument into this one. So data here is more to how we pass the data, which is maybe as a parameter or argument. Logical structure mean they will be using like if else statement or loop in order to do. So example, if a mark is in this particular range and everything, I want to call the method to do something. So they will be using if else statement or they using a loop in order to do. That is we call as a logical structure. And they will have process, that's mean method. So they will be having a method. They will be using a logical structure like if else statement and also loop, and also data required, which is we will pass as a parameter or argument to the method. This is how structured programming is working. I think we have the example last time in the chapter 1. Okay, example 1. I'm not sure which one. Chapter 1 or chapter 2? Or I think maybe chapter 4. This one. Okay. This is procedure programming. That's mean we will be having a method. Okay. Then when we are creating that's mean calling that particular method, we will be having a local data. Maybe this information, the value we will get from the user. When we call this method, we will pass as a actual value. Okay, this is how it works. Okay. But object-oriented programming, if you see, there are focuses on data. That's mean we will be having data and also actually operation are actually encapsulated into one particular unit, which is a class. Okay, they are very tightly coupled. Okay, they have a very close relationship. Operation cannot work without the data. That's why I say get name. I have to have the data in order to return the value. So they are very connected. So it focuses more to the data. Okay. So this is a focus area. So if you see in chapter 1, there's one slide. This slide. Okay. This is the slide. Okay. Focus area. This is more to the data. This is about processes. Okay. More to the process. Okay. So this one can get 2 marks. Okay. So question 1, any question for question 1? No. Usually if you see the questions, usually exam questions, question 1 will be much more simpler compared to question number 4. So because question 1 will be covering chapter 1, chapter 2, and slowly the difficulty will be increasing. So it is not one of the way how we set the question also. We want to try to come out with the easy question to the more difficult question, because it is more to our mentality when you're answering the question also. When first time when you open the question and the first question itself very difficult, and you have no intention to continue with the rest of the question, so it usually will be easy and go for more difficult. So I can say 80% of the exam papers normally will be like that. Okay. Okay, so we go to second question. Let's see second question. Given the following Java class, institute, we have a name, registration number, and location. Define the meaning of object. Define also is level 1, level 2, but not need to explain too in detail. Okay, it's just checking your knowledge. Object is an instance of a class. An object consists of attribute and also method. Okay, you can say object is an instance of class. This one also can. Okay. Define an object named tar_umt. So we want to have one. We want to have one object called tar_umt, which is the instance of institute class. So make sure yours, this one is tar_umt. So institute, yes. New institute, yes. 2 marks. Make sure all the name that they give and everything you follow. Okay, must follow. Sometimes it will be bold, sometimes it will be italic. Okay, in order to differentiate. Okay, so make sure you follow the naming. This one is easy question. Okay. Briefly explain the usage of constructor in a class. What is the purpose we want to have constructor in our class? So this one also 2 marks, not too detailed explanation expected. So constructor are used to construct object. Yes, we know when we are creating an object like this one will go and invoke our constructor. So constructor main purpose is to construct an object. When we construct the object, we also can set some value to that particular object attribute. So another use of constructor is to initialize value for the data. Okay, yes, correct. Provide the constructor with maximum, remember, maximum parameter of the institute class. So institute class just now, if you see, we have name, registration number and location. And check first, is it a static variable or not? Static variable, we are not going to put as one of the parameter under the constructor. So all these are instance variable. So maximum is 3. So we are going to have 3 parameter. Okay. So we have to have a name, registration number, and also location. And this is the way how we actually create or initialize the value. Okay. Since the name here and also the name here and registration number and location are the same name. Okay. So we have to put this. In this question, they never specify. But when you're putting in the same name, so definitely we have to put this keyword in front. Okay, 5 marks. I think this is 2 marks, 1, 1, 1. Okay. Question C. Identify 2 access modifier from the institute class. Access modifier mean this is access modifier. Even for class, we can have access modifier. For data, instant variable, we can have. Even for method also we can have. So in this one, we have public and also private. So this is the 2. This is identify. Identify means just list only. Okay. Briefly explain the usage of the access modifier that you had identified in question 2. So public mean for what? Private mean for what? Okay, if you do, if you write like this, it is more easy to mark. Let's say public, then you write public mean what? Then you put private. Okay, private mean what? Okay, easy to give marks. If you put in a paragraph like this, we have to cut. Okay, like this. If you do like this is more easily we can recognize which one is the explanation for which questions or something. Then easy to give mark. Okay. We use the public access modifier when we want to let the class or method or attribute. So we can have for the class, we can have for a method, we can have for our attribute to be able to be accessed from anywhere in the class, in any class. Okay. We use the private access modifier when we don't want to allow other classes to access the method or attribute of a class. Or you want to say we use a private access modifier when we want the data or method accessible within that particular class. Also can. Okay. So that is private. Okay. Next, briefly explain and 2 marks. Okay. Usage of mutator. We have accessor and also mutator. Accessor is the getter, mutator is setter. So what is the usage of a setter? The usage of mutator to set value for the attribute. Yes. A mutator can have validation to prevent the user from setting the attribute. Okay. Yes, we can have validation also. Okay. Example, we want to specify, let's say the attendance is false mean, we want to set it to one variable to this value. If the attendance is a true mean, we want to set this particular variable to another value. So we can have validation also. So this one, yes, a set a value. Okay, set. Provide one example of mutator for the institute class. In setter method, so we have 3 data just now. So public, void. Remember, set is not returning anything, so it will be void. Okay. We will have a parameter. Then we will set the value. Okay, yes, this is correct. Okay, briefly explain the usage of static keyword in Java programming. Static keyword, what is the purpose? The static keyword is used to make an attribute or method belong to a class. Yes, okay. This means we will create a variable to be a static or method to become a static, variable or method to become static when it is not specifically attached to a particular object, rather it is belong to a class. Okay. And provide an example of data can be declared as a static variable. Which one we can declare as a static variable? Number of institute is an example of data can be declared as a static variable. Yes, you want to count total number of institute, let's say. This is because number of institute doesn't really belong to a specific institute. Okay, number of total, let's say total institute I want to count. This is not related to one particular object because it is related to whole class. Okay, so we will create total number of institute as a static. Okay, or maybe you want to say that institute maybe have miscellaneous charges. They can have material charges also. So miscellaneous charges or material charges not specifically for a particular object. Okay, it can be for all the instances, but in this example institute uh, maybe if this is a particular organization, they have one institute. Okay, so this, let's say this is tar. Each of the institute under them, they are charging the material charges same. But like in this example, it is a 2 marks, right? 2 marks. If you just put number of institute only without giving explanation, you just can give 1 mark only. You roughly have to explain in order to show that you really understand the concept of static. So let's say you said material charges. Material charges is not only belong to that particular institute. All the institute under that particular organization will have the same material charges, let's say. Then yes, acceptable. Okay. Must show that you understand. Okay. So all this one are mostly are theory questions. This is theory. Okay. Explain. This is setting. Okay. Theory question. Okay. So any question for question number 2? But then the static variable should be registered number, right? If based on the question never specified, they won't put static. Here they never put static. Here no static. So we cannot say this is a static. So in this question, you specify, let's say you go here and you specify registration number is actually a static. No, because here they never put, if I created, okay, if I created, maybe for you want to do registration number differently. Okay, you have your own explanation why you want to have registration number as a static or something like that. But if you put in for this question, you put registration number is a static mean, it is wrong. You give example, registration number is a static. Because in this question, they never put this one is a static. Okay. And another question, is it the registration number supposed to be a static? Not really, right? It shouldn't be a static. In this question, it shouldn't be a static, right? Why it shouldn't be a static? Oh, too many. Okay. What? Because each institute, they have their own registration number. In case you want to automate this particular registration number, you want to have one static variable and you increase the value and you assign to this registration number can. But registration number itself, it can be unique for each institute, right? It can be, right? It is unique for each institute. They will have one number, another institute will have another number. So this is unique. It is not shared by all the institute. Correct. Two things in that question. First, you can't put your answer, you want to give registration number as a static is wrong, because if you put because the question asks you based on the institute class, right? Is it provide an example or data can be declared? I have to check this question 2, starting of question 2. Is it all the sub-question based on this example, or this question is individual question? Let's go to individual question or if this is an independent question, then it is different. If it is related to that question, okay. Given the following Java class, okay. So if we see this question, this one got no numbering, okay. And after this particular class only, we will have A, B, C, D, E and everything. So it's better to come out with the static variable related to the institute. Okay, that's mean referring to the institute. So in this question, if you put registration number as a static, it is wrong because it is not declared as a static under the institute class. Okay. Okay, can understand? Okay. Third question, okay. The UML diagram shows in figure 1 represent the class of battery, cylindrical and also rectangular classes are the subclasses of the battery class. Okay, when you see it is italic, we already know that this is abstract class. Sometimes the question will give a hint which is it is abstract, so that because some of you may be not that observant, okay. But if the question, some question maybe they didn't give you hints, based on the class diagram, you have to identify it is an abstract. So check whether is it italic or not italic. Okay. So method also, if it is italic, then it is abstract. So no method here, only toString method. Okay. So each class should include the following: a parameterized constructor. Here they already have parameterized constructor with maximum number of parameter. What is that maximum number of parameter? Check how many you want to initialize in the constructor. Okay, maximum. Sometimes maybe we want to have just diameter only, can. Maybe height only, but now they want to have a maximum number. Here 3 data, here 2 data. Maximum is 2, here maximum is 3. Okay. ToString method that display all the data field value. Okay. Now we go to write a superclass battery that store the data member for the battery as shown in figure 1. See, they already give a hint. Battery class must be abstract class. So abstract class. So abstract class, check first. This is a hash sign, so this is protected. Okay, this one also protected. Okay, but this one all private. So protected data type also must match, and they are having no argument constructor and parameterized constructor, no argument constructor and parameterized constructor, which is maximum, right? So we have string and also float, ID and voltage. So ID and voltage, and toString method, which is return all, because question specify return all the data field value. Okay, yeah, 8 marks. Okay. Next, write a subclass cylindrical battery that store the data member for a cylindrical battery. Exclude all the accessor and mutator. So remember of reading. Sometimes they will be giving you here, or they will be listed under here, the requirement, exclude or include and everything. Okay. So exclude, so we no need to have. So cylindrical, if you see accessor and mutator, but they already said exclude this one. So no argument, parameterized and toString method. So one thing is it must extend. This is what must remember. So when you see the question itself, you already can write here extends. Don't forget. Okay, like that. Okay. We have diameter and also height. This is specifically for cylindrical battery. We have no argument constructor. Okay, no argument constructor. They never say what to have to write and everything. So no need to write anything. Unless they say that no argument constructor must invoke the parameterized constructor and everything, then you can put the code. If they never mention me, no need, just leave it blank. Then in cylindrical battery, remember this one always you will forget. Okay, ID and voltage, yes, this one is actually shared from the parent. Diameter and also height, its own attribute. So we have 4 attributes, and we have to use a super followed ID and also this voltage, and initialize the value for the cylindrical battery. Yes. And for toString method, we want to display diameter and also height, as well as we want to display ID and also voltage, right? The missing super.toString is missing. Okay, we can call super.toString in order to display superclass toString method, followed by diameter and also height. Okay. And next, assume rectangular battery and cylindrical battery classes are well declared. We assume, okay, we already created cylindrical. We assume rectangular battery also already created. Provide a polymorphic array. Remember, what is that polymorphic array? Polymorphic array is superclass type can store, is array, right? Array that superclass type, which is can store subclass type. Okay, that is we call as polymorphic array. So polymorphism array named batteries that will store one cylindrical battery and one rectangular battery with the data given. Okay, so battery is the superclass just now. The name that they ask you to give is batteries. Okay, this is a superclass type. Okay, new cylindrical battery, just now we had 1, 2, 3, 4. And for rectangular, just now they have 3 plus 2. Okay, so 5. So this is what we call as a polymorphism array. Just try to create array only. Provide array. Yes, this is correct. Then, with the help of toString method, write a loop to display the battery's detail using the array that you have declared in question 3C. The sample output is here. Okay. So now we have to create a loop. That's mean a for loop. Okay. You see the another one here. Now here they actually ask you to create for loop. This is for each loop. This one I have to check is a marking scheme whether they allow you to have a for each loop. Or they, if the question said it is a loop, want to use a for loop or for each loop also can. But this one I don't know whether the marking scheme is just accept what is that? Accept for each and also for or not. Okay. So batteries just now dot blank I plus plus. Okay. So you put batteries I dot, okay, batteries I as out. Okay. So try to read and check. If it's a for loop, then follow for loop. For each loop in order to make it secure. Okay. This one I am not sure whether the marking scheme allowed you to have for each loop or not when they indicated for loop. Okay. But in order to make yourself to be secure, check first whether it's a for loop or for each loop. For loop mean follow for loop. For each loop mean follow for each loop. Okay. So this one if it's a for each loop. This is if you go for the for loop. Okay. So the question actually never asks you to display what type of a battery is that. Okay. If they ask you to display what type of battery is that and everything, then you have to use the instance of, okay, in order to identify, is it instance of cylindrical battery, then display this information. If it is a rectangular battery, then display this information. Okay. But in this question, they never say. Okay. So based on the type just now, this is cylindrical battery. If a cylindrical battery means toString method of cylindrical battery will be called because this is the actual type. If a rectangular battery means it will call the rectangular batteries toString method. So no need to put instance of unless if they ask you to provide, let's say we want to display a title here or put some type of text, then we have to go for the instance of. Okay. Can? Any question? No question? Okay. We go to last question. Question 4. Provide 2 reasons of using interface file. So this is Java interface, right? First reason of using interface file is to achieve multiple inheritance. Yes, one of the reason we want to use interface is if we want to achieve multiple inheritance. Yes, because if you use extends, it only can have one superclass. But if you use interface, you can have, let's say, one interface, let's say another interface. Okay, so multiple inheritance. Can one. Another reason of using interface file is to specify behavior of object. Okay, I think this one you have to try to add more because Classes also, we will be having behavior of object. Class, normal class also, we will be having a behavior of object. Okay, but if you want more specific to why interface, another reason in using interface file is we want to specify behavior for object that are not related. This means classes that are this means classes which are not related. Okay, because if you see interface, we know that they are in the same hierarchy. Okay, that means this is the parent, this is the child. They are in the same hierarchy. So whenever I declare here, it is also can be called in the child class. This is in the same hierarchy. They are actually related. They are related because this is an instance of this. This is an instance of this. Okay. But when we have a classes which are not related each other, but I identify that they have a something in a common, some behavior in common, even though they are not related each other. I cannot put this one under a same hierarchy because they are not in the same hierarchy. But now I know that they are actually totally different classes. Okay. But there are method which is common between them or behavior which is common. So we create interface. So classes that are not related or not in the same hierarchy. Okay. You can specify that object are comparable. This is example. Okay. So better put another one more this statement. I think I will this give 3 marks. Okay. Must I have this one? They are not related. This is important. Okay. Explain the differences between abstract class and interface file in terms of variable, constructor, and method declaration. So abstract class, there's no restriction about the variable. They can have an instant variable, okay? They can have a static variable, so static also can, instant also can. All variable must be public static final. Public static final means it is a constant. So in interface, we only can have constant. Constructor can have constructor which is will be invoked by the subclasses. Okay. We know that abstract class, we cannot create instance of the class. Okay. But what is the use of constructor then? So that the subclasses can invoke. Okay. Interface file cannot have constructor. Okay. They don't have any constructor. Method, there's no restriction. We can have a instance method. We can have a static method. Okay. And we also can have an abstract method, an abstract class. Interface file, all method must be public abstract. Okay. All will be having method header. Yes. All right. Write an interface file name vehicle. So remember, interface means this one supposed to be interface vehicle. Write a method named start engine and also stop engine. You want to put public abstract void start engine also can, or straight away you put like this also can, because it will be automatically public method and also abstract method. Okay. Both method return no value. No value means it's void. Okay. Either one. Okay. No need to put two. So yes. Okay. Write a class named truck that implement vehicles. We want to create a truck class implements vehicle. Display the message starting engine when the start engine is invoked. So this is void. Just display one message. And message stopping engine for the stop engine. Yes. And lastly, Write a Java program segment to test start engine and also stop engine method that you have written. So yes, main method, we create a truck object. We try to call the method based on the object followed by the method here. Okay, so yes, that is the last question. Not so difficult, right? This set is not so difficult. Very, like, we can say that it is basic, some basic information, and the programming also not that complicated. Just check the understanding. Okay. So any question about any part of this paper? Any question? No questions? No. Okay, I will upload this one later. Not the one, the original version. That's mean not the one I already scribble. The one I already mark. Okay, this one. I need to save. Okay. So we go to the second set. Second set of the paper. I managed to mark just now. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay, this one will be which paper? 2022, 2023 October examination. Okay, both these paper are face to face, face to face. So you have to try to check in the collection institute repository whether it is what is this ePrint? So you have to check whether it is okay, ePrint. Okay, this and also this one is still face to face. I think 2022, this one, I think after this one is actually uh, during COVID. Okay, it's online. You can see the instruction. If you see the instruction like this, it will be uh, it's during the COVID. Okay, the exam question may be slightly a bit because if you see this is 2 to 5, that's mean 3 hours paper. 3 hours paper, so maybe the level is a bit different. Okay, so you can actually try also. Okay, you can try as an exercise. So let's check this question. Okay, question number 1. Differentiate between object and class using appropriate example. Remember, when you read the question, you have to differentiate object and also class based on or giving example. So in this particular explanation, there is no example. I just give 2 marks. There's no example. It must be with appropriate example. Question said must use appropriate example, mean must have appropriate example. Okay. So a class is a template for creating object in a program. Yes, this is a definition of a class. Whereas the object is an instance of a class, this is the definition of object. A class does not allocate memory space. On the other hand, object allocate memory space. This one is comparison. Okay, compare. You actually give This one can do this one cannot do this. Classes cannot be manipulated, while object can be manipulated. A class is logical entity, while the object is a physical entity. You give a comparison, but you didn't give a comparison based on example. Okay, so can give 2 marks because there's no example. So if you want to give you want to get a full mark means you can say that for example, let's say you want to give an example. This is must have example, right? For example, let's say I want to consider an account class. Okay, accounts, a class of account, let's say. Okay, there are many account with different name. They can have a different type. Okay, but all of them will share common properties, as well as they will have some common attribute like balance. Like account mean they can have a saving account or current account, right? So I'm giving an example. I can have an example classes of account. Okay, maybe I have account, saving account, or a current account, like that. So all this that means there are many account with different name and type, but they all share common attribute like they have a balance. Uh, what else they have account holders name. Okay, so this is what we call as classes. That means in the classes we will specify the data, what all the class object that we are going to create will have, and also we will have a method which is all this particular object will do. Okay, so in a class we will define this. You can give example like account class. Okay, we will have common attribute like this and also common method like this. Whereas if you see, when we want to create object of a class, we will create saving account is one of the object, current account as a one of the object, like that also can. So any example which is can specify, or you want to give a code for this example also can. Not necessarily must be a explanation, right? Because appropriate example mean I can give example of code. So maybe I can create an account class, okay? Then I define the data, let's say string, account number, let's say name, okay? Then I specify one method. Then I create account, C equal to new account. So I specify here, this is a class which is will have a common data and also common method for all the object that we are going to create. And this is a class, a object which is create out of that particular class. Like this also can. That means you are giving based on example code. Like this also can. Or you want to give example in explanation like previously also can. But it must be with some kind of example. Okay? Because question wants an example. Okay? Next, discuss 2 advantages of object-oriented programming over structured programming. Now we want to say what is the advantage of OOP compared to structured programming. In your opinion, sometimes one single question might have 2 parts. So when you read also, you try to underline. This means you have to get one advantage. In your opinion, which programming approach is more suitable for creating programs that are large and also complex? Justify your answer. So 4 marks is belong to this one. This 3 marks is belong to this. Okay. This one can get 2 marks only out of 7. Okay. Let's check. Because this question never answered, 3 marks gone. And advantage, here is a 4 marks. One advantage roughly around 2 marks. And if you see the keyword here is discuss, this is level 4. Level 4 means must write some explanation, not state, not identify. Okay, must explain. See, until here is just repeated. Only this 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7 cannot get 2 marks. Okay. So object-oriented programming is more secure as having data hiding feature. So try to explain this one, can give 1 mark. More reusability and less functional dependency, 1 mark. Okay, if you explain little bit more, yes. So when using OOP in your code, you write code that can be reused through inheritance. That means that the team member doesn't need to repeat the process of writing the same code multiple times. Yes, this is how you can explain for reusability. You can say that how to achieve reusability through inheritance. How? That means we no need to rewrite so many times, multiple times. Okay. So any other advantage also can, let's say you say that is modularity. That means when working with OO programming, you will know exactly where to look from when it's something goes wrong. Okay. So when we want to troubleshoot, we no need to go to long process. Okay. Because it's modular, we know where exactly we have to go. Because they apply encapsulation. You want to go for encapsulation also can. Like this one. You say that more secure. Okay. Data hiding because they encapsulate the data. Because of encapsulation only we can achieve data hiding. Okay. Data hiding is we create the private data field, public access modifier. That one is data hiding. If we don't have encapsulation, we can't achieve this data hiding. Actually, both are actually related. Because of encapsulation, we can achieve data hiding. So you can say this data hiding because of encapsulation, let's say. Explain a little bit more. Because this is a 4 marks, 2 marks each. Okay. And this question is never answered. Okay. This question, let's see. If the program large and also complex, okay, we never say the structured programming is not good or something. Actually, structured programming easy to understand. Okay, a lot of benefit also. But this is the situation when your program is very large and also complex. When you have too many methods and everything, it will be quite difficult in order to organize. So when you have a large and also complex, okay, we can go for object-oriented approach. Okay, because object-oriented approach can provide a clear modular structure for program. Okay. So we also can reuse across the application, which is eventually can lower the cost of development. You can specify like that. So let's answer this question also. Okay. Okay. Next, create a memory diagram. Still remember memory diagram? Okay. String S1 equal to this one, S2 equal to this one, S3 equal to this one. This one using string builder in order to create UC. Okay. So we know that we have a stack memory and also heap memory. Object creation will be in a heap memory. Defining the variable will be in a stack. Okay. So S1 just now, S1 tar, S2 tar. We know that in a heap we have a string pool. Okay, string pool means it will if that particular string is already available, it's not going to recreate again. in order to save the memory. Okay, so first S1 equal to tar. This is actually creating S1 using string literal, correct? This is string literal way. This is creating using new keyword. That means you are creating object. Okay. So when you created using S1, so it will be going to the string pool. S2, it will, so in a heap memory, we will have a string pool. So S2 also they created using string literal. So it will try to go first, it try to go and check, is it tar use is already exists? If exists mean it will point to that particular string. If no mean it will create another one. So already exists, so S2 will be here. S3 is actually created using new keyword. Okay, it is not going to create under the heap memory. It will be outside the heap memory, but still inside the heap. Okay, string pool is not under the string pool, but still inside the heap. So TAUC. Okay, yes. Remember how we want to make this one to be available inside the string pool? Optional intern. We can use intern keyword. Okay, now mind. So this example, yes. Now string builder S4 equal to new string builder TAUC. String builder is another way of we are creating a string content, right? So it's not going to go under the string pool. But I wonder why it will be in character. Okay, it's still TAUC like this. Okay, S4 will point to this one, TAUC. Array or character. It's not array or character. Okay, so TAUC. So this one also outside. It's not going to point to S3. Only inside the string pool it will do like this. Okay. So this is how the diagram will look like. Okay. Can. Okay. Next. By referring to program p1.java below, this one, explain, I think I showed this one in the class before, but never mind. Explain why error occur when P1 is being compiled. Why error happen? So this one also got two questions. Why error happen? You can circle or underline when you read the question itself. Rewrite the program so that the program will compile and run properly by catching the right exception. Rewrite again. So why there is an error? Okay. So this one is a string, then you convert to integer. After that, you put a 0. Okay. This one can cause you divide by 0 exception, right? Okay. So in this example, yes, already have try and catch, already have a try and catch. Okay. But what is the error for this particular code? Okay. When you are trying to compile ISIN, this is not a runtime error. Okay. This is when you try to be compile ISIN is already indicate error. So why? Let's check. Error occur when Pn being compiled because there is no division by 0 just before the catch block. Actually, this is we can say that this is what it's supposed to have. But what causes the error is, it will give you line error here. Why? This is general. This is more specific. Okay. When we want to do try and catch statement, more specific must go first, general must go down. Why? When it's come to catch statement, all the exception already been caught here. So it won't go to this catch statement. So the order of the catch statement is important. So we have to put the catch block targeted to a specific exception before the general exception catch block. Okay, or the compiler must will give you issue. Okay, so the problem here in this question, when you're trying to be compile ISIM, it already give error because the catch block, the order of the catch block is not well performed. Okay, that is the main error. But what we have to do is this one. Okay, but still give her 4 marks. Okay, because here it said P1 is being compiled because there is no divide by 0 just before the catch block. You see, there is no divide by 0 just before the catch block. Before the catch block, you never say before which catch block also, because here got 2 catch block. Before the catch block, is it here? Before the catch block, is it here? The ordering is important, right? I can give 1 marks. 3. Okay. In a way, you actually can understand, but the question actually wanted to identify the ordering. Okay. So because you said just before the catch block, here also can. Here also can. Okay. So if we rewrite, so in this question, the answer is supposed to be the order of the catch statement. Okay. Error is happened because the order of the catch statement. This is 2 plus 2. That means here is 2, here is 2. The order of the catch statement is wrong, which is general exception, specific exception must be before a general exception catch block. Okay. So if you rewrite, yes, this is arithmetic exception, this is exception. So now the ordering is correct. This is general, this is specific. Okay, now this one is correct. Okay, any question? No? Okay. We go to E. Write a method that will receive a string and return receive string, so parameter must be string, return total number, so it will be integer. In a given string, either uppercase or lowercase, okay, that means when a string is given, it will return us number of consonant in that particular string. Okay, and also if you see, it can be uppercase, it can be lowercase and everything. Okay. So this one is a static method. Okay. Getting a string, returning an integer. Number of consonant and string vowels is A, E, I, O, U is a combination of lowercase and also uppercase. So we want to try to get character at that particular index number. And we try to check index vowel dot index of that particular character, more -1. Index of with doesn't exist mean it will return us -1. If it exists mean it will give us the index of that particular character. Okay, and is character in a lower in a low vowel. Okay, and also character is not equal to, yes, another one. I think some of us, some of you can actually do this question, but one thing that we have to check also, the space. Space also must be not encountered as one of the consonant. Okay, space also we have to check. So this one also check the space. Yeah, this one is can will be working. Okay. Or you want to use regular expression. If you know how to write using regular expression, you want to use regular expression also can. Or maybe a simple one can be something like this also, right? I try to create one string, let's say my string. Okay. I try to get, let's say this one is, what is the string str. Okay. So str dot, I change this one all to lowercase. So no need to worry whether it's uppercase or lowercase. Then create a loop integer I equal to 0, I lesser than my string. Okay, dot. Length for string is a method. Okay, I plus plus. What I do is I can check like this also, right? If uh, I try to come out with a character, let's say ch equal to my string uh, dot char at I. So I will get a character, let's say A, B, O. Okay. So I'll get that character. Then I try to check, is it CH equal to A? I don't need to check with the uppercase anymore because all already converted to lowercase. I think we have one question in the practical, which is counting the vowel, right? Okay. So this is just opposite of that. So in my class, I show 5 different way of creating that this one for that question. So you use any of this technique also, you can just bring it in the opposite side only. So let's say you want to do something like this, a character A, or it is a character equal to E, I, O, U, okay, or character equal to, let's say I, whatever, check some more, another 2 more, okay. So if a character is this one, what we want to do is nothing, just uh, let's say and just empty because we are not doing anything else. If character not equal to space, okay, maybe integer count, okay, count plus plus, like this also can, right? This one also can be work. If it is not A, I, O, U, nothing, maybe nothing, because just want to display empty only, nothing. If it is a not space, I want to keep on counting. So this is already considered is a consonant. Okay. Like this also can. But this question, we assume that they're just typing uh, letters. Okay. Because they said it's a string. Okay. Just can see here is just a space. Don't have exclamation marks or something like that. Okay. A simple one with the text can be like this also. Okay. Or you want to use manipulate using a string builder also can. Okay. Six marks. Okay. Okay. Next question. This is question number 2. Differentiate instant method with static method by providing example for each. Give a situation when static method is preferable than instant method. This one also got 2 questions. This one is 4 marks. This one is 2 marks. So we have to provide, let's say this one is explanation 2 marks, here is 2 marks, when we can get 4 marks. Okay. So, so we have to provide example for each. So example for instant method, this is the instant method. This one is the static method. Okay. Can. Or you want to include your main method, then you say this one, let's say in a class A. Okay. Then you call A dot number of increment number. Okay. Or A object equal to new A, then object dot introduce myself. You want to extend until here also can. This is instant method, this is static method, and this is the way how we invoke instant method, and also we invoke static method. So it's like full complete one, right? This is the way how to create, this is the way how to create instant method, this is how to invoke the instant method and also static method. Just nice. Okay. Give a situation when static method is preferable than instant method. When static method is preferable than instant method, when there is no instant variable in the method. Oh, no. If I have to decide, I have to create this one as a static method or instant method. Am I have to go and check whether there is an instant variable or no instant variable? So let's say I want to do a calculate, let's say calculate salary. I'm wondering whether I have to create this one as a static variable, a static method or instant method. How I can determine this? I'm not going to check on the variable, right? We know that static content only allows static variable and static method to be called and everything. But here they say when static method preferable, when it is prefer. So now if I have a situation, I have to create this one is a static variable or instant static method or instant method. How I will determine that? So I have to check, is it the code that I want to write is shared across the instances of the same class? If yes, I will put this code under a static method. Okay. If the code is specifically for a particular class object from a same class, that means I will create as an instant method. Okay, because this question is look like a little famous. Static method or instant method, how to determine? It is going to be shared by all, or is it by particular object have that particular method? That is how we will be determining. Okay, so I have to write like that. Abstract classes cannot be instantiated. That means we cannot create object out of abstract classes. In that case, why an abstract class can have a constructor? Because previous question, we already checked constructor, the main usage of constructor is to create object and also to initialize value. If abstract classes cannot be instantiated, that means you cannot create an object. Cannot create object mean how we want to initialize a value. Why can have a constructor? Okay. An abstract class can have a constructor in Java so that the constructor can be invoked by the subclasses. Subclasses will need to call the abstract classes constructor to initialize the field of the abstract class. Also, abstract constructor will frequently be used to enforce class constraint or variance, such as the minimum number of fields required to set up the class. Okay. Roughly, the answer actually can understand that abstract class constructor will be invoked by the subclasses. Okay. And the keyword that you're supposed to have here is, this one can show the understanding you understand. So I can give 3 marks. But the important keyword is constructor chaining. Okay. So constructor of subclasses will be invoked during the uh, constructor chaining. Okay. Constructor chaining means if this method not exists, it will go to the parent, right? That is constructor chaining. Okay. So it is very important in the constructor chaining. Okay. Because previously we learned, right? We learned that constructor of subclasses can be invoked implicitly or explicitly. If I put a super keyword followed by, let's say, ID and also name, this is explicitly I'm actually invoking the superclass constructor. But if I didn't indicate this one, it will be implicit. That means the runtime will apply default like this, which is this one will call the superclass no argument constructor, right? This is constructor chaining. From here, jump to the parent, okay? So it is very important. So one of the reason which makes sense is when any class extend a abstract class, the constructor of the subclass will invoke the constructor of the superclass, either it is implicitly or explicitly. So this is what we call as chaining of constructor. So that is the reason why abstract class need to have a constructor in Java. Okay, and this one is actually can explain that also. So still okay, because subclass want to invoke the value. Okay, and the keyword is this one. Next, briefly describe the differences between equal operator, equal, and also compare to method. This is a method, this is a method, by using an appropriate example for each. That means we have 3 marks here, 3 marks here, and also 3 marks here. So write in the way that you can actually achieve these 3 marks. One simple line cannot get 3 marks. Okay, so 3 marks. Let's see. Another one is, what is this? Content. Oh, okay. Another one is, instead of you put everything under one paragraph like this, it is better you put equal operator. Then you underline, then you write here. Then equal method. Then you write here. Then compare to is easy to mark. Okay, not going to miss any of the points. This is like combine everything. Equal operator is used for references comparison, or you want to say it for memory location. Okay, you want to check they are in the same memory or not. Equal method is to check whether a string or char, or you want to use content. Content, they are checking the content. Exactly same with another string. Okay, content. Compare to method return integer to show whether a string or char is greater than, equal to or less than the compared value. Okay, so it will just return positive value. This one is positive value, negative value, and also 0. Okay, so question said appropriate example. So this is equal. You see, already do this one. Example for equal. Example for equal. So instead of this one, everything is about equal operator. Everything about equal method. Like this is more easy. S1, S2, 3. S1 equal to S2 because this one pointing to the same memory location, which is this one under the string pool, right? Okay, this one is inside the heap. Memory is different, so false. Okay, can. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, as this is capital, this is a lowercase. So S1 equal to S2, S2 and S3 are different. S1 and S3 also different. Yes, because they're comparing the content. Okay. And lastly, string hello world, string 2 equal to hello. S1 compared to S2. Actually, I also don't know what number it will return, but we can know positive value or negative value like that. Because this one, each character will be converted to ASCII code, ASCII code, ASCII code, plus everything. This one also will be converted to ASCII code plus everything. This one and this one, that means S1 minus with S2 will get one number. That number, if it is a positive, we will know that S2, S1 is more than S2. If that number is negative, that means S1 is lesser than S2. If it is written 0, we know S1 equal to S2. That is how we will know. So depends. So when we compare this one, if a positive value mean I know S1 bigger than S2. If you show me a negative value, let's say negative 32, I know S1 is lesser than S2. If it is 0, we know that S1 equal to S2. So this one, definitely this one will be more, okay, positive value. S1 more than S2. Okay, so you want to, it is good if you indicate this one. If S1 more than S2, positive value. S1 less than S2, negative value. S1 equal to S2, return positive 0. Okay. This one is actually easy to remember. S1, remember this one more. That means this is bigger. S1 lesser, that means it's a negative value. This one definitely easy to remember. These two. Okay. Okay, then D. What is the meant by polymorphism? Why does Java language with support inheritance also support polymorphism? Okay. So, first question, second question. Maybe roughly this is 2, this is 2. Okay. So what meant by polymorphism? Polymorphism is ability of different object to respond to the same method to denote different implementation in same class hierarchy. Okay, remember that 3 point must be there. Okay, same method name, different implementation, same class hierarchy. Now, why does Java language support inheritance also support polymorphism? Inheritance and polymorphism are closely related and polymorphism rely on inheritance to work. Without inheritance, there will be no superclass-subclass relationship. Uh-huh. So we say that polymorphism allow variable to hold supertype object and subclass type. Okay. So we also say that we can achieve polymorphism using overriding and also overloading. Okay. So overriding actually can work within class hierarchy only. It must have inheritance in order to override, right? If not, it cannot work. How you want to override? Method name same, but in a different class, right? Only through inheritance we can override. Okay. So this explanation still okay. Okay, because it's just 2 marks. So inheritance, if you see, it is just for the classes. Polymorphism actually extend itself into any method or function in the hierarchy. Okay. Like inheritance mean the class level. Polymorphism more to the method level. Okay. Assume that you have 3 classes: student, undergraduate. This one also we went through before. Which assignment should be legal and illegal? Why? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3 marks. That means each is 0.5 marks. Okay. So we have for this one is you mean undergraduate. Undergraduate equal to undergraduate legal, right? Because this one is we are using polymorphism, right? So supertype must be here, here must be subtype. Okay. So same type, yes, this is legal. S is as student equal to you. Is it correct? This is supertype, this is subtype. Yes, correct. P is postgraduate equal to postgraduate. U is undergraduate. This is legal. This is illegal, right? Okay, this is illegal. Why? This one will be compile time error because postgraduate, it is not a subclass of undergraduate. They are siblings. Okay, they are siblings. S equal to new postgraduate. S is student. Okay, student. Student equal to new postgraduate. Yes, correct. Because it's a supertype, this is subtype. U, undergraduate equal to new student. Okay, undergraduate is subtype, student is a supertype. This is the other way around. So this is not legal unless will be legal if you cast this one to undergraduate. So this one will cause you class cast exception. Okay. Unless you cast it to undergraduate, yes, can. U equal to S. U is undergraduate, S is a student. Subclass, superclass. Okay, so subclass cannot refer to superclass object, so cannot. Okay. Yeah. So that is how it's work. Okay. So far, any questions? Any questions so far? No questions? Okay. I think we will stop until here. Question 3 and also question 4. We will be doing on Monday. Okay. This is difficult to see. Okay. So we'll discuss this one on Monday. Okay. So if you have any other questions also, on Monday class will be the last class. If you have any other question, you can ask as well. Okay. So I think I will end until here today. We'll continue on Monday. Okay.